This podcast is brought to you by Salt River Pictures.
Hi, Lloyd. A little slow tonight, isn't it?
Hello there.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Stay on target.
Dylan! Son of a bitch.
Welcome to the Salt River Movie Club.
Hello and welcome back to the Salt River Movie Club, the movie podcast that is heavily sleep deprived once again.
Hey.
Definitely for good reasons. Definitely because I was doing important music-y things and podcasty things, not because I stayed up all night building a wooden model of Serenity from Firefly. I'm definitely not holding that up for these two to see right now. My shame, my absolute shame.
That's
you have no
amazing.
proof. This is an audio-based medium. You have no proof.
Are you sure?
It's gone. Fuck you. Yes. No, I built a wooden Serenity model. I will post it on our Instagram. You can see it if you like.
Nice.
This is Salt River Movie Club. We are three members of the band Salt River Shakedown. We do blues rock, classic rock, that kind of thing. However, this podcast is not about that band. This podcast is about movies we like, and sometimes movies that we not so like. Today's movie is a movie that I kind of like, I think. I don't remember it that well, but we will see how that goes. But we will get to that. Yes, we'll get to that in a little bit. So, first of all, over here, we have... he's wearing... you're wearing your plaid shirt and a waistcoat today.
Yes.
It's a combination.
Yep.
Yeah, that's...
Random.
That's, you can be Jeff Bridges. You got a bit of a Jeff Bridges vibe in this film. That's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You're our very own... Was he like a vicar? What is he, like priest or something? Like,
Yeah, he's a priest, isn't he?
Priesty boy.
Yeah.
He's a priest.
Yes. Yes. Alec McMillan, how are you today, sir?
I am very good. I have recovered from illness and I'm getting there.
Good. I'm glad. Don't die.
No, I'm okay.
And over here, I'm trying to remember who else is in this film. You can be John Hamm. There you go. You're John Hamm. It's Sean Kilner.
Hello.
This is great.
Is Channing Tatum in this movie?
No, Channing Tatum is not in this movie, or not that I remember
Oh,
anyway.
I don't remember him being in this movie.
I-
Some kind of douchebag comes in at the end.
Yeah, it's Chris Hemsworth.
There you go. That's the one.
I can see why you got them confused, to be fair. But yeah,
That's
no.
okay. They're both kind of dicks. It's fine.
Yes, hello, Sean. How are you today, sir?
Sleep deprived also, but I don't even have a good excuse. I'm just tired.
Yes, because my excuse was like rock solid. Like,
Well, it's better
it's absolutely a reason that people should stay up all night.
Well, it's better than saying that you stayed up for nearly 3 hours watching horrible histories. So
That, yeah, you know what, you're right there.
Horrible.
see?
Well, like the kids program.
hell yeah, horrible histories was my shit back in the day.
Yeah, back in the day, mate. What you doing now?
It's called being sleep deprived with nothing to do.
That's fair.
I thought
That's
it's on
fair.
Netflix. I might as well.
That's fair.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's cool. Okay, so if you are a newcomer here, this podcast. I've not introduced myself. Hello, I am your host, Jake. I am drummer.
You
Jake.
can be Dakota Johnson. She's in this movie too.
That's fine.
It just hit me.
Yeah, it was really fun being in 50 Shades of Grey. That was a good experience had by all.
All right.
So if you are new here, this is a movie club. This is a movie podcast. We watch one movie every 2 weeks. That sounds like a very, very little when you phrase it like that, but they come out every 2 weeks. We actually watch them every week. Yes, and it's a movie club. You're encouraged to watch some movies along. We let you know the name of the movie at the end of the previous episode, and we'll mention it on social media and things like that. And yeah, you're encouraged to watch along and let us know what you think of the movies and things like that. So today, I'm not actually mentioning the name of the film. I've just done all the actors that are in this film, but it's Bad Times at the El Royale. Well, yes, we will get to that properly in a little bit. First of all, thank you if you've been listening so far. Our last episode was the marriage story episode, and Falcon and Winter Soldier may have started by the time this is out. I don't really know. I will have to check on the schedule.
We'll figure it out.
Yes, indeed. Yes. So, first of all, let's start with our usual thing. What have we been watching? That's the theme tune.
What have we been watching?
Sean, we're going with you. Sean, what have you been
We
watching?
always go with me first. Okay. So I realized that I kind of forget what films I've been watching over the last couple of weeks, so I've started listing them, like putting them on the, like my watch list
so
on fucking Netflix. Let me just get this out. So I recently rewatched Ready Player One because I just enjoy it as a movie, and
Fair enough.
I got the audiobook, and the audiobook is so much better than the film. Go listen to that; it's brilliant.
Right. Okay. I have a question in that case then.
What's that?
Because I've heard many people say that book is good, and I've also heard many people say that book is actively terrible. Like the guy's just a bad writer.
I personally I enjoy it because it's full of like just nerdy 80s cheese. It's great.
Sure.
But the movie's kind of been updated to include very, very recent stuff, like, you know, the Iron Giant and the DeLorean just in it for some reason. I wouldn't say that's recent, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Like
I enjoyed the book. The book is much better than the film. So if you get nothing to do for a couple hours, I would highly recommend the book.
Fair.
Also, I got really, really back into cyberpunk in the last week as well. So I decided to look up like cyber noir series, sort of like stuff like that on Netflix. And one that came up was this thing called Love, Death and Robots. All the episodes are like 10, 15 minutes long each. And the animation is gorgeous.
I think I've seen like one episode of that. Yeah.
I really enjoyed that series. And if you're listening, I highly recommend it if you're into sort of cyber noir or that kind of post-apocalyptic feel. Like, what's it called? Is it like Neon Apocalypse or something like that?
Yeah, that kind of, there's a bunch of like you could take any like neo word and like combine it with any other word and you get
Neon.
Yes.
That and let me check Disney Plus. I restarted Scrubs as well because it's my favorite TV show of all time.
Nice.
Oh my god, it's so good. And I think
I do like Scrubs.
I think that's it for now. Actually, I don't think I've been watching that much.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
I think that's a bit me.
Yeah, okay, not bad. Okay then, Alec, what have you been watching?
I have been watching absolutely nothing bar one TV program, and it is the only TV program that matters, and that is the US Office.
Nice, cool, okay. Is that still on Netflix? I feel
Still on
I think
Netflix.
I think I heard that it's leaving at some point soon.
What?
Yeah. Watch fast.
No,
Speed it.
it has to be there for my
No.
rewatching joy. No, but I love it. It's so good. It's so funny. It never stops being funny. And it never stops being eternally sad as well.
yeah.
So many sad moments. You're like, oh.
Yeah. I
Like,
feel
see,
like that's a show.
I was
No,
like,
no, sorry.
I was greeting at the bit, you know, when Pam has her art gallery and like no one shows up, and then
Oh my God.
Michael turns up at the last minute and like buys the painting and is like so proud of her and all that. You're like,
Yeah.
That's really sweet.
That really is like one of the starting points of like you really starting to like Michael. Like he's become such a good character.
the very first moment of when you realise that he's actually a good guy and that he's not like an arsehole is the Halloween episode. And at the end, it's like throughout the whole thing, he's like been abandoned because everyone thinks he's annoying and all that. And at the end, he goes back. It shows you like he has to fire somebody in the episode basically, and the guy like chunks a pumpkin on his car and all that, and nobody wants to be around him. And you see him like drive home and be all lonely and all that, and he's just sitting in his house like being alone. And then the kids knock on his door for trick or treating, and he like gives them all the candy and all that, and he's like pure like loving it. Do you know what I mean? It's like shows you that he's actually he's a pure nice guy. But yeah, they do that so well. Like I love Steve Carell. He's so good at that character.
He's so good. Like that's what he has over Ricky Gervais's version of that for me. Is just like a genuine like warmth to that.
Yeah,
character.
totally. But it's a different character as well, isn't it? It's not David.
No,
Brent.
totally. Yeah, but
The first kind of season
like
was try to do the David Brent thing, and then they kind of move away from that, I think.
Yeah, they were very much imitating the UK show right at the start, and then they found their own style. Yeah, I like that show. I do like that show.
Yeah.
Okay, is that literally all you've watched?
That's literally all. Any waking moment, I've got a cup of tea in my hands and I'm watching The Office. That's what I'm going to go now.
Fair enough. Right, what have I been watching? I was going to say I've watched very little because I've been very busy, but apparently I've watched more than you, so
Yeah,
that's
totally.
okay. Right, what have I been watching? I watched a few films. I watched The Fisher King, which is a Terry Gilliam film. You can get my opinions of all these films on our Instagram, by the way. So every picture is official. But
Nice plug.
yeah, thank you. Very seamless. No one will know that I did a plug. Fisher King, Terry Gilliam film with Robin Williams and Jeff Bridges.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's good. It's like I sometimes find Terry Gilliam's weirdness a little distracting, and there are moments in this where that's a problem. But for the most part, it's actually really, really good. It's a bizarre concept where like Jeff Bridges plays like a shock jock kind of like radio guy who inadvertently causes someone to go on a shooting spree just through things they said, and then he kind of loses his job, and then 3 years later he bumps into Robin Williams, who is a homeless guy whose wife was one of the victims. But he's like totally snapped psychologically, like he can't even remember that happening. This makes it sound like it's a really depressing film. It's actually really funny. Like it's basically a comedy, but
A dark
with
comedy?
a really dark, really dark concept. And like Robin Williams believes he's a crusader looking for the Holy Grail and things like that. And like, Jeff Bridges has to help him find the Holy Grail in like modern day New York.
That does sound pretty good,
That's
actually.
interesting. I love Robin Williams and I love Jeff Bridges. So
Yeah,
definitely
they're both brilliant. They're both really, really good. What else did I watch? I watched Vice, the Christian Bale film where he put on a ton of weight. It's just all people remember about that film.
The recent one.
Yeah, where he plays Dick Cheney.
He really looks like him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's great in it. Yeah, no, it's really good. Same guy who made The Big Short, which is a film I really like as well.
Ooh.
And then just was it last night or the day before? I can't remember. I watched Train to Busan, which I'd seen before, but
I love that film. It's the
so
best
good.
zombie movie ever made.
It's definitely up there. Yeah, if you don't know what it is, it's a Korean film where the vast majority of the film takes place on a train, and basically a zombie outbreak happens right as this train journey to Busan begins, and like one zombie gets on the train, and then it just spreads throughout the train, and it is ridiculously tense. It is basically it's an anxiety attack of a film. It's ridiculous.
Is it like a subtitles one?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, what's that on?
It is on Amazon Prime. I think you have to. I rented it. It was only like £3.
It is the best zombie film ever made because the characters just make this whole film. The zombies
really,
are kind of
really good.
they're kind of like a backseat, really, when you think about it. And then it's like all about how these characters interact with each other, because you've got like the smarmy businessman who's like, oh fuck the lower class, that kind of thing.
Yeah, there's a bit of that. Yeah,
And you've got the most loving couple in fucking movie history. And
that guy is such a badass.
I know.
He just flips his zombie onto the roof at one point.
It's class, man. And the main character's got a really good character development.
Yeah,
Like he starts off like the most asshole person in the world, and then slowly starts to learn to become a good person by the end of the film.
There's a whole thing where him and his daughter are on the train, so he's trying to kind of keep her alive, and and it's just like it's really good. It's just like, you know, you think of like zombies on a train. It really plays with that concept and really kind of like fully, you know, does everything you'd want from that. Lastly, I've been watching Castle Rock, the TV show, which is a TV show that not many people seem to know about, but it is essentially, it's set in Stephen King universe, but not written by Stephen King. So the first season takes place around Shawshank Prison, but like years after all that happened, basically.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's an interesting one. I think the second season focuses on the character from Misery as well and things like that. So yeah, no, it's really interesting, and it's kind of constant references. It's a little weird because it kind of can't decide if it's actually in Stephen King universe or if it's just because like there's a character in it called Jackie Torrance, but there seems to be no relation to Jack Torrance. It's just there because the name's there, you know.
Like references.
It's a little strange, but yeah. But yeah, that is what I've been watching.
Nice.
And, yes. So let us move on now. I need to get my notes back. I've moved on to a different set of notes.
To the main feature itself.
To the main feature itself. So Today we are watching Bad Times at the El Royale. This is Sean's choice of film. Sean's choice. It came out in 2018. It's directed by Drew Goddard, who is probably best known for. He's Joss Whedon's pal, isn't he? Like he wrote quite a lot.
I don't know.
He wrote some of Buffy, I think maybe Firefly as well, and he wrote and directed with Joss Whedon Cabin in the Woods, which is one of my favorite movies. Alec, have you seen Cabin in the Woods?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, I've seen Cabin in the Woods. Good, okay.
Yeah,
Most
that was
people
like
would
when
probably-
I first
sorry.
when I first started like getting into horror movies. That was the first one that I properly watched to get into it, which I thought was a kind of good one.
Great film.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably know him best as the guy who wrote Lost as well.
Yes, he did do a lot of Lost as well.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
Not just him, but yeah.
Drew Goddard.
Yeah. Yes. Starring
So what you're saying
Jeff
is that he's a shit writer then?
Well.
I think he's an inconsistent writer, but yeah, no, he has his talent. Stars Jeff Bridges, Cynthia Erivo. I don't know. Sure. Dakota Johnson, John Hamm, Chris Hemsworth, Nick Offerman, and Shea Wiggum. Lots of people I like in this film, which is good. And a score by Michael Cicchino. Ooh, we like him. Yes. So, Sean, you picked this film.
Yes.
Why?
Why did you make us
Why
watch
would you
this
do
movie?
this? This longest film in the world.
Right. I have a thing for these kind of like niche one shot movies where I say one shot, I mean like one
It's
film
one movie.
per- on its own. They made a film and that's it. There's no
It's
sequel.
like I love movies when it's like a movie that's one movie.
You didn't let me finish my sentence.
We know what you're trying to say. We're just messing with you.
I know. But now I sound like a total fucking moron. Okay. Movies that are kind of single on their own, like Overlord, like movies that nobody wants to see, but have came out in the cinema and have done reasonably well.
Yeah, like a
unnecessary.
standalone, very original film. You know,
Yes,
yeah,
an original concept because apparently those are rare these days.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The reason,
That's fine.
yeah,
Yeah, go.
I'm just trying to think now. The reason I picked this one in particular because I remember seeing it in the cinema and being blown away by the idea of it. Like the sort of like, I've never really seen a lot of noir / mystery thriller type films like this, and I thought this would be a great choice because, well, Parasite was a great thriller.
Yeah.
And I thought
Yeah.
this kind of deserves a wee bit more attention, so I picked this one. And
Fair.
my other pick wasn't on Netflix, so
Good.
Fair, okay.
God damn you,
your
Netflix.
criteria. I like your criteria for this. That's good. Yeah, no, fair enough. Yeah, cool. I think we've all seen this film.
Yes.
Which is I think the first episode of this we've done where everyone has seen the film. But
Yeah, that's true actually.
yeah, but I think me and Alec have not seen it in a little while. I don't
Yeah, I've
really
not seen it in
remember
a
it that
while.
well.
I remember there being a weird cult thing, and I remember there being like a briefcase.
very, very, very Pulp
Yes.
Fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is worth noting about this film. It is extremely Tarantino, despite him not being involved.
Yeah.
It's very much seems like a homage to his films.
Yeah, definitely.
A good
But,
homage.
I hope so. I don't remember well enough to say. But
Yeah, neither do I, yeah.
I remember enjoying it at the time.
It's good.
So yeah, we did this section a bit snappier than usual. That's
Yeah,
good.
we did. That's good.
I know. Holy shit.
So we're going to be getting into Bad Times at the El Royale now, which is a very long, annoying title to say.
Yes.
And yes,
I like
it
long
is
titles for films.
It is on. What are we watching it on, Sean? I don't actually know.
Disney Plus.
Part of the Star thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on Star.
okay.
We should
We
also
can do a
say
good watch then.
we're doing a good watch. We should also say, Disney Plus released Star, so we have a huge backlog of films to do.
Yeah, no, there's some pretty good choices on there, so we're definitely going to get through some of them.
I'm so excited.
Yes, it is on Star. If you have Disney Plus, which everyone seems to have Disney Plus, you can watch it on there as long as you are an adult. If you are a child,
Yes.
you shouldn't be listening to this.
No.
Fuck off, child. I just
Mid
caught
drink.
Sean having a drink.
Mid drink.
Oh my God.
Yes. Fuck off, children. We're going to watch Bad Times at the Royale right now.
This. Goodbye. Goodbye.
The El Royale is a bi-state establishment. You have the option to choose a room in either California or Nevada.
How'd you end up at the El Royale?
The Ritz-Carlton was booked.
This place used to be hustling and bustling. Old Dean Martin even sang a song about it once.
This is not a place for a priest, Father. You shouldn't be here.
We might need to work on your sales pitch, son. The El Royale, no place for a priest.
All right, Jeff, how's it going?
How you doing, Jeff?
All right.
Jeff, you've broken into the booth.
Tony Stark built this in a cave.
We just got rid of Randy Newman and now Jeff Bridges is in.
God's sake.
Yeah, it's me, Randy Newman. No, Randy's here. Randy, how's it going? It's me, Jeff Bridges. Hey, man, Jeff, how's it going? Anyway, they've left now.
Thank God.
We have
Forever.
this has been one man theater with Jake. We've just watched Bad Times at the El Royale.
Yes.
Yes. It was long, but I
Didn't feel as long as Godzilla.
It did not. No, that is true.
That felt long.
Godzilla, I could feel myself aging towards the end.
Totally. It was like, oh my God.
That's because this is a good movie.
Yeah, I think that may be the reason.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, where we usually start. Well, yes. Hold on.
How do you feel, Jake?
Well, hold on. I'm bringing up the spoiler alarm, but while I'm doing that, let's start with you two.
No,
Sean.
Jake, you first.
Sean, I'm the host. I'm the captain now.
All right.
How do you feel, Sean? Being the one that suggested this film to us, how do you feel?
I mean, I love this movie. I think it's great. That's it. That's all I've got.
Cool.
The reason I suggest
Thank
it is
you,
because I
Sean.
love it and I still love it, even after the fifth viewing or something like that.
So have you seen quite a lot then?
Fucking hell.
I love this movie.
Oh my God.
Oh, because I went through showing everyone. I saw it myself first, and then I saw it with a colleague, and I showed my mum, and I watched it with the friends online, and then I've watched it with you guys. I've watched this movie a lot.
So did you see it in cinema?
enough.
Yes, I saw it when it first came
Right,
out.
okay. See, I saw it on Now TV. Like when it came out.
Yeah, I
first
think
came
I
out.
might.
I saw it twice in the cinema in the same week as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it.
Cool. Well, Alec, what about you? How do you feel? Second time?
Yeah, second time. I think I liked it a lot better. I think the first time I watched it, I did kind of feel like what you thought of Tarantino light. But no, it kind of hit me. I really enjoyed it this time. So I wouldn't say that about it anymore. I think it's got different vibes than Tarantino. I think it's got less dialogue than a Tarantino movie. I think.
Yeah.
It does.
Because
It's
Tarantino movies, the characters like to talk, man.
yeah. It's definitely got a bit of that. There's definitely a sort of homage to Tarantino going on through it, right down to the chapter cards coming up
Of course,
before each section,
yeah.
and and the similar kind of soundtrack and things like that. But yeah, I'm in a similar ballpark to you. I enjoyed it the first time I saw it, but didn't love it. I liked it a lot more that time. I think it's a slightly frustrating first watch. I've heard some people say the same thing, where just because it jumps around, you're seeing the same event happen from multiple angles for a large portion in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that's a bit frustrating when you don't really know where it's going. But watching it a second time, I kind of settle into that a little bit more, and I really enjoyed it.
Totally.
So we're now going to get into full spoilers. So as is tradition, the spoiler alarm is sounding. The spoiler alarm is now sounding. This is your final warning. Spoilers from this point onward. The spoiler alarm is sounding. This is not a drill. Okay. Spoiler alarm.
Okay.
Spoiler alarm. Stop. Spoiler alarm.
Chill.
Yes, full spoilers from this point on. So let's have a little quick recap of the plot. Let's just kind of jump through it really quickly. Quite a simple story. Overall, it's kind of made complicated through editing, but it is a fairly straightforward story of the El Royale Hotel, which is a hotel which is on the border between California and Nevada. Is that right?
Nevada, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Right in the middle of the two.
Yeah, and it's kind of their whole gimmick is that there's this line right through the middle of the hotel. So on one side you're in California, on one side you're in Nevada. I kind of thought that was going to be a bigger thing through the film. It's only really talked about right at the start, and then that's it. It's just kind of a fun thing for the hotel to be, you know? Yeah. But yeah. So the film opens with Nick Offerman, Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec himself, being murdered. Yes, no, he is in in one of the rooms in the Royale Hotel, and there's this great kind of long opening section with the song playing, and it's just showing him this one static shot cutting through time, showing him burying a bag, like a suitcase, under the floorboards of his hotel room. And yes, and then someone comes, like knocks on the door, comes in and shoots him. And that is the end of the opening scene. Then we get various characters turning up at the hotel at the same time, including Jeff Bridges, who is a priest, or is he? He's not. We get John Hamm as a salesman, or is he? He's not. We get I forgot her name. What's she called
Darcy.
again?
Darlene Sweet.
Oh, Darling.
Yes, it's played by Cynthia Erivo, who is a singer, or is she? She is. We also get Dakota Johnson turning up, who's kind of this angry hippie, or is she? She is. You'll be happy to know that's every character that turns up. Or is it? It is.
Fucking Jesus, stop.
No.
You're playing with my emotions.
They turn up all at the same time. They are all clearly hiding different things from each other. They turn up. They meet the receptionist Miles, who's also the bartender and the caretaker, and
Runs the whole place.
Or is he? Yes, yes.
oh, yes. He's kind of running the hotel, and he shows them to the rooms. There's a whole kind of thing about like they're all wanting different rooms separate from each other. And then we start jumping around in time. We cut to John Hamm, who, by the way, is severely underused in this film because he dies about half an hour in. It's a shame because I do really like John Hamm. He is revealed to be FBI agent. I think it's
FBI.
I don't know if it's ever. Yeah, I don't know if it's ever specified what.
It is
agency
FBI
it is.
because, well, it's definitely a higher level
It'll be
than just
CIA
police.
because for the time, because it's roughly the 70s it takes place.
Well, FBI was in the 70s as well.
I know, but the CIA was kind of like the intelligence kind of folk.
There is a kind of surveillance.
I don't know
vibe
the
going
difference
on.
between.
Yeah. It's probably FBI, but yeah, no, it's hard to say.
He is Agent Man.
Yes.
Yes, I don't think they ever specify.
They don't specify. No.
He starts checking for bugs in his room and finds a lot of microphones hidden in various things, and then discovers that there is a secret passageway behind the mirror, which leads to a sort of observation room for every room in the hotel, with a camera set up at one of them, and he's able to see various things going on, including Jeff Bridges opening up the floor of his room, and Dakota Johnson kidnapping someone seemingly, or is she? She
No.
is not. Yes, he reports back. It's actually quite a complicated plot to kind of sum up because it jumps around so much. He is killed. He tries to save whoever Dakota Johnson is kidnapping, but turns out that it's her sister. She's not really kidnapping her.
Save her from scary cult that she is obsessed with.
Yes. We'll get to the cult in a little bit. But Dakota Johnson kills the cop, and in doing that, also shoots Miles, who is standing behind the glass because Jeff Bridges and Miles Jeff Bridges has discovered the glass as well, the secret glass, and Miles is accidentally shot. Before this point, Jeff Bridges has been having a conversation with Cynthia Erivo. I'm really bad with like remembering the characters' names. I always go by Darlene. And she knocks him out. Miles finds him, and then they discover. Well, Jeff Bridges discovers the observation rooms, and Miles is injured.
Yeah.
Then Jeff and whoever's singer,
Darlene.
He reveals that he was a bank robber, and his partner, who was Nick Offerman in the opening scene, buried money in one of the hotel rooms. But Jeff Bridges is old, and his memory is going, so he can't remember exactly which room it is that the money is buried in.
Or does he?
he doesn't, and he guessed wrong when he first turned up. So he ended up in room 4, but the money is actually in room 5, which is Darlene's room. So he makes a deal with her to they'll take the money and they'll split it. Yes, and then they're in the process of doing that when Thor appears. Chris Hemsworth shows up in the second half of this film.
That is made of pure sex.
He's very much playing like a Charles Manson type character. He's kind of playing on those kind of ideas. He's kind of running some kind of cult. It's not really specified what it is. It seems to be the kind of classic cult thing of like he gathers all these people around him in this kind of false belief, basically, so he can have sex with people like that. Like it's that kind of classic cult thing.
Billy Lee, classic cult things. Billy Lee, all
Billy
those
Lee,
classic boys, just
all classic cult stuff. Just cults being cults. And then they turn up. There's a extended scene with all the various guests tied up, and Billy Lee going between them and threatening them. He kills Dakota Johnson, and then all hell breaks loose, and everyone is killed except Jeff Bridges and Darlene, because turns out that Miles is a secret badass. He was in Vietnam, and he
123 confirmed kills.
He demolishes everyone.
By the end of the movie, it has 131.
Yes, and then Dakota Johnson's sister stabs him because he killed Chris Hemsworth, which I mean, fair enough. And then they do they split the money in the end? I can't remember.
They do split the money. Yeah.
They did.
They do split the money. Yeah.
She became a singer in Reno. Darlene became a singer.
Yes, and she was off.
Well, she just went to she just went to do her next gig, but like you can tell that after that she'll use the money.
Jeff Bridges got a really nice white suit.
He did get a really nice one. He looked banging. And there is an ongoing thing throughout the film as well of a kind of roll of tape from one of the cameras showing, it's never specified who, but there's implications of it might be like JFK and Marilyn Manson.
Marlon Manson.
Marilyn Manson. Marilyn Manson.
Now that would be an incredible tape. JFK and Marilyn Manson. Holy shit!
It's just walking. It's just like a pure BDSM like dungeon. Like JFK is like strapped up to the wall. Like
you just hear fucking the beautiful people just blasting from the hotel room. Just like,
oh god.
Okay.
Considering all this shit that's come out about Marilyn Manson recently, I wouldn't be surprised. No, the implication seems to be it's JFK and Marilyn Monroe.
Not Manson.
It's hard. It's really hard to say if that is actually who
it could be anyone. It could be
heavily implied.
I don't even think
heavily implied.
I don't even think it's heavily implied. Like because they don't really talk about it that much.
No, it's deliberately left as vague as possible. I think that would be a good guess.
It's a good guess, for the time period and stuff.
It could just as easily be. It's all we know is that it's someone that's died. Like it's mentioned that the guy is dead in the tape, so it could be like Elvis, or it could be
Elvis and Marilyn Manson.
Jesus.
They do make it sound presidential in a way. Like
it's like somebody of higher power. Somebody in high power.
Yeah,
it's someone that is like really important that it's that person, yes. So that is pretty much the film. It's a very complicated film to describe, but actually quite straightforward overall. So let's get into some of our thoughts on it. I loved, first of all, in the opening scene, first of all, just a great opening scene, just with Nick Offerman burying the money. But there was a moment
long shot.
Yeah, there's a moment though where me and Alec remembered the same thing about this film at the same time, and it was Nick Offerman basically walked right up to the camera and was looking into it, and I think basically we had the same thought. I was just like, what's he looking at? oh, it must be a mirror. Oh, we're behind the two mirror. Yeah.
Because both of you just went way.
I just remember, like, as soon as that clicked into place, I just remembered like a lot of the plot. Like,
yeah, totally.
Still, although I didn't remember any of the deaths, they all took me by surprise for some reason, even though I've already seen the movie. Do you know what I mean? I've just not seen it in a long time.
Yeah,
still as brutal as the first viewing.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. I remembered some moments. I remembered Jeff Bridges being bonked on the head by the wine bottle, but
bonked is a fucking light word for it. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. Fucking walloped.
Yeah, there's some moments I'm so glad that I didn't remember because it just made it so good. Like,
yeah.
Like, it just paid it off. The whole Miles bit is the best bit in the movie. It's just like, pay off.
Dun, 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 dun,
So good. Just the bit where he just launches the rifle up from his, like, kicks it up and just grabs it and just instant headshot. It's like,
Yeah, that's a very, like, in terms of like Tarantino homages, that's very Tarantino, the whole section where he just suddenly is just
it's very like
badass. And
it's very Kill Bill, isn't it?
What a lad.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Any notes, boys?
Yeah, just on the Tarantino thing, I think that is one thing that I did find frustrating the first time because it is such a Tarantino homage. Like you're right, like it's not got the really long dialogue scenes like Tarantino has, but it still has these kind of like long sequences of like not a lot happening and the title cards coming up and the soundtrack and even just the vibe of the film and the plot. I think the first time I was just like why would you do this? You know, like why would you imitate something that you're not good enough to do? But I don't know. Like I think actually in second viewing, it's closer to as good as that than I thought it was at first. You know?
Yeah, totally. It doesn't. It doesn't feel like the filmmaker has like an original stamp on the movie as such because it is trying to do that Tarantino thing. But then it does do it very well though, so I can give them that. Like,
yeah. It's a good concept as well.
And I guess to be honest, it's not really that an original thing Tarantino did because the whole cards things and all that would have just been like a thing from old movies and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
It might not necessarily. We as the viewer see it as being a Tarantino thing, but maybe the dude that's making the film is harking back to his influences from seeing movies as a kid and stuff. Do you know what I mean? They might not necessarily be like we're drawing that conclusion, but for the guy making it, he might just be doing his own thing.
Yeah, like it's a thing that people forget about Tarantino. Like he's an incredible filmmaker, but he's heavily inspired by his influences and he draws on a lot of stuff. He just combines it together in a very particular way, and the kind of way he tells a story is quite unique to him. Yeah, and this feels like it's doing that at times, but
I'd say the editing and like the beat of the edit kind of feels more Tarantino.
But then it's Tarantino's one of the people that's influenced everything. You look at Guardians of the Galaxy, that's quite Tarantino at times. You know, like
100%. It's like sci-fi Tarantino.
Yeah, like there's Tarantino's in everything now, but this is a more obvious like paying tribute to him almost. You know, I wonder what he thinks of this movie.
He probably hates it.
I don't know.
I will Google it and find
He's probably like that. Fuck you.
Stealing my shit. Yeah.
I love Tarantino, but he's so annoying.
Unfortunately, yeah. Like I feel like if he just, I want him to have his own like podcast where he just talks about movies endlessly. I'd listen to that, but yeah, he does have a habit of just like he's just pretentious movie man some of the time, you know.
Movie man, which is fair enough. I mean, the guy fucking deserves it because he can make a good movie, like so.
Yeah.
He deserves to be pretentious.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does indeed. We need to do a Tarantino film on this at some point.
You do. Which one would you want to do? Just out of curiosity.
You know, I've never seen. I've never seen Jackie Brown, and I really want to see it.
Jackie Brown's good.
I like Jackie Brown.
Oh, okay, we should do Jackie Brown at some point then. Yeah. I really like Jackie Brown.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've always wanted. It's one of the ones that's just passed me by.
Yeah, totally. What's always quite interesting is going back to his films pre-directing like From Dusk Till Dawn, True Romance, things like that. Like where ones
You've not seen Dust Till Dawn, do you?
I've not seen Dust Till Dawn. I'm not seeing Dust Till Dawn.
love that
Oh,
movie.
we've got to watch that. And
That
he's
is
in
a
it as
good
well. Do
movie.
you know what I mean? He's like pure in that movie.
But they're just those movies that you like True Romance basically feels like a Tarantino movie because it's just all his writing and but
Like
anyway,
Dust Till Dawn is Tarantino's best acting role, I think. I think he's actually.
I mean,
his personality fits his character, if you know what I mean, Sean. Like,
yeah, no, sure. It is a low bar, to be fair. He is not a good actor.
No, totally. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I can deal with most of his cameos in his movies, with the exception of the Australian cowboy in Django Unchained.
That's
which is
brilliant.
actually, it's painful.
It is painful.
That's pretty painful.
I fucking love that movie, though. I love that movie.
Yeah, no, the Django Unchained is great. Yeah.
It's his biggest movie.
Is it
Totally. Biggest movie at the box office. Yep.
over Pulp Fiction even? Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Also, according to the internet, Tarantino does not have an opinion on Bad Times at the El Royale. I can find.
Okay,
That
cool.
I can find.
That's a good segue back into Bad Times. Yeah. Yes. What was I going to say? I actually didn't take a lot of notes in this. I was kind of just enjoying the movie
it
this time. Like there wasn't that much to write down. It was just kind of like just getting into the meat, you know.
The meaty bits.
The meaty bits.
Meaty bits.
Yeah, there was a great long oneer shot when John Hamm discovers the observation room. And it must have been like 5 minutes or so, this one shot of John Hamm just walking between the different windows. Yeah, and the singer like singing in her room, and then just great sound design as he walks away. It starts to like echo more and more, and like him kind of going then coming back and turning it off, and just like really solid. The sound design in general, we talked about that once or twice. One of the probably the best shotgun sound I've heard in a movie.
Ever, yeah.
It's the best one
like
I've ever heard in a movie.
Proper punchy, you know, like it
makes you go.
Yeah. We've heard a lot of shotgun sounds in movies.
But yeah, just to confirm what I said, Django Unchained is Tarantino's highest grossing movie, 425 million.
Oh,
Nice.
wow, okay, that's surprising. Like, is that like just like initial box office? I guess because like Pulp Fiction must be more now in terms of like overall. Like,
No,
Is that adjusted for inflation as well?
it just says what is, it just says Django takes the top spot out of all of them.
well, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, because I guess Pulp Fiction was probably quite cult, and then it's kind of maybe
Yeah, but
slowly-
nowadays it's such a big thing. Like maybe it's
No,
not
I know.
like DVD sales and things like that. But yeah, no.
Yeah. I know. What you mean.
Yeah. Okay, so, what other notes did I have? I only took a few. Yeah,
didn't take
just
that
really love that. Yeah, I really love that one shot. John Hamm is very underused.
Yeah.
A wee bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely. Yeah, the sound design is class. So you feel everything. Like even when Jeff Bridges gets his head knocked in with the glass, it's like,
I felt
it's
that.
like sounds good.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
That was a thud.
Yeah. Also, got like probably one of Jeff Bridges' best performances in this. Like he's really good.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
this.
it's really good. He sells the movie. This movie would be shit without Jeff Bridges. Like I genuinely wouldn't. I wouldn't like this movie nowhere near as much if it wasn't him cast. I can tell you that.
No,
right now.
he does. He
sells
is
the
the best
movie.
thing in it. He is definitely the best thing in it. He like it's like, you know, because he's bullshitting everyone for most of the film, but then that moment at the end when Chris Hemsworth is like, "What's your real name?" and he can't remember it is fucking heartbreaking. Like,
I know. It's like, yeah, I actually realised, oh, hang on, that's the one thing that he wasn't lying about. Like,
yeah, and he's just panicking and yeah, it's very, very good. I love
yeah,
me some Jeff Bridges.
He turns around to her and he's like, "Did I tell you my real name?" And you're like, Fuck.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm just reading through some wee bits and pieces of the
Sorry, just one thing on the acting. How do we feel about Chris Hemsworth in this?
So yeah, I was just gonna say this. I think his. So I
It wasn't
think
awful.
I think for one, I don't think it's Chris Hemsworth's fault. I think just the character and the kind of arc of his character is just a bit shite and not exactly kind of. It's laid out in a kind of weak way, to that it's not really like they didn't build it up enough throughout the movie, I feel, to make it really satisfying when he dies as a villain. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get what you mean.
You're just kind of like, he gets the headshot, and you're just kind of like, yeah.
I think he was introduced too late.
It's introduced too late in the movie, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I'd say a good, like, 60 to 70% of the movie goes by before you see him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's only mentioned a couple times before that.
Yeah, so if they found a way to show how bad, like, they did the fighting scene where it shows, like, oh yeah, yous two fight, and then yous can come in the back with me later on, and then I'll make this big speech. But you don't see any of, like, the consequences of what he's doing to folk, other than she's a wee bit of a psycho.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, see if you saw him, like, I don't know, like, beat up folk or do something, like, pure horrific to people. Like, maybe if you saw him, like, beat up the big sister or do something horrible, which made, like, what made them leave the cult? What made... I want to know that what, like, do you know what I mean? I want to know what happened, what escalated to the point that made them leave. And then if I found out more about that, then it would be more satisfying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. I think like he is my biggest problem with this film, and I think I had this problem the first time, and I do still have this problem this time.
Yeah.
Where, like, it feels like the film liked the image of Chris Hemsworth as this Charles Manson type thing, and it is good. Like, it's a great, like, he looks great in the part. Like Jesus Christ, that man. But there was a moment when he appeared on screen walking through the fields, and we were just like, good God, look at that man. Like, seriously. But
I think it was wrong casting, if I'm honest.
I don't know. It's not so much that. It's just like, it feels like, I think it's the problem with the whole film. Like, I think that, like, there is a great setup. There's a great first hour, and then it's not quite sure how to end. So it just brings in this other guy from somewhere else, without really setting him up that much. And, like, it's cool. Like, he's decent in the part. I think his American accent is a little distracting at points, but I like the character in general. I like him when he's on screen. He's good fun, but it does feel like they just needed a way to end the film, so they bring in this outside thing.
Yeah, and I feel like the whole roulette thing went on a bit. There was a couple of scenes in this movie that just felt like they lingered a bit much, and it was a bit like the whole roulette thing was going on a bit, and it was like, okay. And one gripe I do have this movie is that even though I loved her singing, it did feel a wee bit like an advert for her as an actress.
Yeah, she starts singing a lot in this film.
You know what I mean? It's like she starts singing, like, again, and then you're like, okay. And it's just like another 5-minute scene of just her singing. And my favourite one of those, which maybe they could have just, my favourite one of, like, I think they could have just cut it down, like, some of the scenes, and had the long one being the one with Jeff Bridges in the corner doing the hammering and stuff. Like, that could have been the main one.
That was brilliant. I mean?
That one was great, but I think the rest of the scenes went on just as long as that one. Like, the other two main singing scenes, and it was a bit like, okay, that's an editing thing. It could be. Yeah,
it's another thing it takes from Tarantino, is just that sense of pace. But Tarantino tends to have, I don't know, a better sense of, like, he can go slow and it doesn't feel slow, whereas this, at moments, it does drag a little bit. Admittedly, not as much as the first time I saw it, where I really felt the length of it, but yes.
See, I don't even think I felt the length of it the first time. I never saw it as being a long movie, this one, for some reason. I don't know.
I don't know. The first time I've really felt the drag the first time, but a little bit this time, but not too much.
Yeah.
Sean, do you feel the same about him, or the big Thor?
See, I'm kind of in two minds. Like, the character was fun. Chris is good at the role, but I think it could have been, if they had, like, maybe an older actor doing it, like, maybe leaning more into the sort of Charles Manson feel would be a really good idea.
Yeah, I honestly think I'd find him scarier if he wasn't so fucking sexy. Like, do you know what I mean?
There's a quote for the fucking intro now.
Do you know what I mean?
There's a quote for the intro. Clip that out, please.
And I do think
he's just not scary. He's just not scary. He just looks.
It's just
like, and I'm sorry, right, but in the 70s, right, nobody looked like that.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
No, it's a fact though. Like
Yeah,
people
no, I
can
know,
look like
I
that now because like they've learned through dieting and taking certain, things. You know what I mean? You don't just look like that without
Yeah.
taking things. Like,
have you seen Once Upon a Time
yeah.
in Hollywood? Holy fuck.
no, but do you know what I mean?
Brad,
Like
Brad
even
Pitt in that film, Jesus Christ.
yeah, totally. But Brad Pitt in that film is like a normal kind of ripped though.
I mean,
Do you know? No. Do you know what I mean? Though he's like he's not
He's
an
just a big
insane
dude.
amount. He's just a big dude,
Yeah.
but like Chris Hemsworth is like fucking steroids level, like Hulk Hogan shit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
Like-
he's ridiculously shaped.
He's ridiculously like cut. Like it's like to the
Yeah,
point where
yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
it's not like realistic to like a fit dude in the 70s, I don't think, and it just kind of takes you out
Totally,
of it a wee bit. For I don't know.
here's an interesting thing. Actually, I was looking up trivia. He
It's a
had
bit
to lose-
Baywatch.
He he had to lose 15 to 20 pounds worth of muscle from Infinity War just to star in the film. So
it's insane.
mad,
That's-
isn't it?
That small Chris Hemsworth in that film, and he's still like fucking.
Yeah.
tank.
It's like
still a
puny,
fucking machine.
puny Hemsworth. Like you could still
if they were-
crush your skull. Like
see if they were looking for sort of like culty looking, like kind of gruff dude. I honestly think a good choice would have been someone like Rob Zombie, if I'm honest. He's someone who looks
Yeah.
fucking. He's a big fucker, but he's like not built like a
Yeah.
brick shithouse.
yeah, I think that's the problem actually with this movie. It needed somebody scarier.
Yeah, and he's somebody a bit
Somebody
more
that
like,
you were afraid
Yeah.
of. Like
somebody who actually looks like they could lead a cult.
Totally. I think Chris Hemsworth could play that part. I did like one problem I do have, and I noticed it more this time, is I think the writing takes a dip in that second half. Like there's some clever writing in the first half, and then as soon as he appears, his dialogue it doesn't make him feel scary. There's all this like oh, you shouldn't have done that bad shit to begin with. It's just quite simplistic.
yeah, and
dialogue
the bit
The bit where
Yeah.
she fucking shoots him down
Yeah,
is
yeah,
like, you've kind of just ruined the character by doing that.
Yeah, because like he's so I had a problem with that. So she basically does this big speech, and she kind of basically goes, "Here, mate, I know people like you. You're just a dick. Like you're nothing." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What they had to do then was make him a scary character by defending himself upon that and do something
like
about it.
Doing
And
some proper fucked up shit.
like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas in the movie he just gets generally quiet and offended, and it's a bit weird.
Yeah, it's kind of
You know
like,
what I mean? He
he
backs
doesn't
down.
feel like
Yeah.
a threat.
I almost think that's what they're going for, is just like she's right.
Yeah.
He is nobody.
Oh yeah,
but
yeah. He's just
but
a
he
weak
doesn't
character,
really-
I think. Yeah.
It doesn't really come across because they've kind of introduced him in this incredibly dramatic way, which looks great. By
That's
the way,
that's
I can't
the
fault that.
problem.
And, like,
yeah.
You're expecting this guy to be absolutely terrifying, and he's just a creepy guy, you know. Like,
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
you
he's
can
just,
still
he's
have-
just an idiot at the end of the day. Isn't he?
yeah.
But you can still have that weaselly character and be terrifying at the same time. You
No,
just need to
totally.
make him
Yeah,
a
yeah.
legitimate
Yeah,
threat.
I think I have no problem with
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth at all. I think it's a pure writing thing.
it is.
Yeah,
It's
I
down to writing.
think so. Unfortunately, yeah, and I can see
part
what
of
they're
the
going
casting.
for. It's part like I think like if the character that they've written, the casting doesn't work. I think there is a version of this where Chris Hemsworth could work as that character, but unfortunately, that is not
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
just
not-
needed to up the stakes.
Yeah, and it's not like a movie ruining thing for me. Like it's just I find the second half of this film is a bit frustrating. I think that's why it dragged so much for me the first time I saw it. But
Any annoying bit of this movie is redeemed when the way that Miles picks up that gun and just starts headshotting folk. It's
is
all
fantastic,
redeemed.
yeah.
It's all redeemed in that moment. I'm like, fine.
It
I don't
is.
care about any other part of this movie. This is fucking amazing.
Miles is the fucking best character in this movie, by the
It
way.
gave me
He's
chills
brilliant.
again when it was like, how many people have you killed, Miles? And he's like, 123. You're like, oh! I just completely forgot about
he
that.
knows the number.
Yeah,
you know?
totally. The exact number. Like, that's like scary shit, man.
He has the
Yeah.
best character progression in this whole movie, man.
Which would make
Yeah.
it would make his bit in the movie even better if Hemsworth's character was like like even scarier dude.
Yeah, totally.
That he just fucking conked him out and he bothered. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think, it would have a bigger impact as well.
Yeah. Because again, the
absolutely.
impact that I had was like, hey, do you know what I mean?
we're just like,
Yeah.
cool, the big bad guy's dead. That's fine.
I do really like the thing with Miles. I like the fact that like when he's first introduced, it feels like the movie is just doing the pulpy weird movie thing of just like he's a creepy guy in the hotel, he's watching everybody, and then like you see him, he's like shooting heroin and just like passed out, and like that's clearly what he's doing at the start of the film when they all turn up as well, because he takes ages to appear and he's like clothes are disheveled and stuff, and like and you think that's going to be the whole character, and then he talks about like he's done horrible shit, and then I like the fact that like you actually see what he's been through and why he's like this, like why he has to do heroin to like to deal with this, and I think that part of it's well written, and like
he has the best arc in the movie, I think.
I would agree. I almost feel like, sorry, just thinking about the casting of Hemsworth, I don't want to lose Jeff Bridges as the character that he plays, because he's really good. I kind of want to see cult leader Jeff Bridges though. Like I feel like that'd be an interesting part for him. He has a good look for it. I think.
I even think, would this movie even be better just like without the culty thing? Do you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like maybe there could be something else.
Yeah.
It could just be a shootout.
It just the whole culty thing just feels very added on to me. Like
It does
it's
feel
just like it's a very like, oh, let's do this now. But it doesn't feel like it's, I don't know. It feels out with the movie that we're showing at the start. But
I think the movie's trying to do all the kind of classic late 60s, early 70s stuff of like, there's spy shit going on, there's FBI agents undercover, there's, political scandal going on, and there's also cults, which is kind of was another big thing at that time. I think it's trying to do all of those things in one film, when actually it'd be good if it just trimmed a couple of them and just did a more focused story,
Yeah, like try to add too much almost.
Yeah. But yeah.
It's still enjoyable though.
Yeah, we should
I still really like it.
We should we should like write a movie or something, do you know what I mean? Like better than any of these fucking codgers.
Well,
Right, Spielberg, you want to sit down over there?
Yeah.
I would love to write a movie.
Look, that's kind of part of what Silver Pictures is.
That's what we're gonna do.
What we're gonna do.
You heard it here
You
first.
wait, son.
You've heard it here first. We confirm that we are writing movies.
We have confirmed that we are doing
Tarantino.
something.
Move over, Tarantino. Sit down, Spielberg. We got this.
Anything else I want to talk about in this? There's a brief appearance from an actor I really like called Shea Wiggum, who plays a prison doctor in a flashback scene. He's an actor that like, he's just one of those like, he's one of those famous that guys, like you
Famous
spot him
actor.
Side
and it's
roles.
just like, oh yeah, like you know him from something, but and he's like he's actually one of my favorite actors. He's always brilliant, but like never gets like, the biggest part I've seen him is he's Steve Buscemi's brother in Boardwalk Empire, which is a great show, by the way, if you haven't seen it. And he's fucking brilliant actor. But yeah, I didn't know his name until literally today when I looked it up before watching the film, because he's just one of those people,
There you go. Good to give him a shout out then.
Yeah, no, I love him. I think he's really, really good.
Awesome.
I'm
Right then.
I'm pretty much out of notes, I think.
Yeah, I'm good. I think we've kind of covered everything.
Yeah. So
Check trivia if you want.
Yeah.
give us a couple bits of trivia.
Yes. This film and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood both feature two songs that are both in the same kind of and also both reference what?
Let me try and guess the songs. The Hush is definitely in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hush is one of them, yep.
Is the song in the credits at the end of this? Is that one in there as well? That one. No. What's the second song?
I don't actually remember the tune, but I know I have the name. It's 12:30 by the Mamas and the Papas.
That probably is it.
Here's an interesting
I think
thing.
the one, yeah.
They're both movies are set in roughly the late 60s, early 70s, but also both songs reference the Manson family, who Chris Hemsworth's character is meant to represent.
Yeah, they both cover similar themes for sure.
Little strange then that it's in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, considering that the Manson stuff hadn't happened yet, and it's meant to be playing on the radio, but never mind.
I don't know. It was just an interesting thing.
Yeah. Nice.
Let's see. Nice. There's not really much, although apparently someone on IMDb has managed to work out the exact date of this just by the Richard Nixon thing. If that's
speech.
playing live, if the speech is live, then it takes place on January 27th, 1973, I think it is. Let me find it. Hold on. Where is it?
Good to
I've
know.
lost it. I don't know. 1969, January 27th. There you go. I don't know why that's. I just thought that was fascinating because it's like you've worked out exactly what day it is based on like 20 seconds of film.
I think one of us did ask halfway through the film, like, when is this meant to be set? And like we weren't really sure.
I just looked on IMDb. It just says early 70s. So.
Yeah. It's just that kind of vague.
It's
time
vague
period,
time period. Yeah.
I also just a quick side note before we wrap up. I can't believe this film came out in 2018. I thought it was much longer ago than that. That's like yesterday. Really? Yeah.
No, I thought it was fairly soon ago. Yeah.
2018 was 3 years ago.
Fuck off. That's
that's weird, isn't it? What the hell?
Oh,
that is weird.
Joker came out 3 years ago.
Joker came out 3 years ago.
Joker was that was 2019.
It was 2018. 2018.
I promise you, it's not.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Are you sure?
Let me check.
2019.
2019. Yeah.
Well, it came out earlier. No, I'm kidding. I'm clawing back points.
He's trying to find another way.
Sean's like, I know Joaquin. I saw it in 2018.
It's I know it was October that year, but that was
about a year and a half.
Only a couple of years ago.
I guess now. Okay. Ooh.
Christ, time moves fast.
I know, especially when you're stuck inside and all time just ends for a year.
If you're listening to this podcast in 2029, tell us what the future's like.
I know. Hopefully the world hasn't ended by then. If you're... We're recording way in advance, so if the world ends sometime between now and when you hear this, you'll have plenty to listen to. If you somehow have access to a working smartphone in the apocalypse, you've got plenty to listen to. They'll probably be scheduled to still come out for years from now. So.
Yeah, they definitely will be.
Can you imagine? The year gets like 2035, the world's been decimated, an episode just comes out of nowhere. Like,
I know, you'll still
today we're talking about Onward.
I know.
They're like, I can't see that film.
God.
Anyway, let's wrap up. Important thing. What is our ratings? Alec, I'm coming to you first.
Oh, right. I always get the first one on this one, don't I?
Yeah.
It's tricky.
Yeah, no, it's
what do
tricky.
I compare this to? Do I compare this to Tarantino films?
No.
What do I compare this to?
See,
just
you guys always
do.
You guys always do
films.
this comparison thing. I always just do it like compared to every other film ever made.
Yeah, sure. That's a smart thing to do. I would give this 6.7.
Interesting. Okay, that's slightly lower than I was expecting.
Very low rating.
Well, 6.7. That's not bad.
That's all right.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Definitely way lower than I thought you would give it, if I'm honest.
It's like it's because the main bit of the movie that I like is the shooting scene, right? That's like what makes that movie for me, and I think because of how short it is, it doesn't make up for the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't redeem it enough. I think
action and explosions.
I do like the movie a lot, but yeah, I'm sticking 6.7.
Fair enough. Sean, on your fifth viewing? How are you feeling about this?
This is my fifth viewing.
Sean just fucking loves this movie.
I do. I genuinely love this movie. I think it's got a great setup, great acting, great scenes, great sound design. Everything is great. And I'm gonna give it a 9.
Oh,
that's decent. That's good.
I can honestly, perfect.
I can't argue. Like I think it's an incredibly well made film. I wouldn't go that high, but like I can see why someone would like it that much.
For me, the plot and everything is the thing that matters the most, even over the sound design. The music was class. It looked great.
Did have a good
but at
plot,
the end
though.
of the day, the medium is to tell a story in it. So, like, if the story isn't quite there for me, then that kind of trumps all on my rating, I think.
That's kind of where I am with it. Like, I'm probably sitting around 7.5.
Ooh,
Like,
that's three very different ratings.
Yeah, I'm still waiting
Closer
for a
to
film that
mine.
I really want to find a film that we're really divided on, where one of us gives it like a 2 and the other one's like a 9.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. I know, to be honest, like, all the films that we've given, they've been pretty good ratings. I mean, we've not chose
totally.
anyone that's, like, they've all been above 5. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We've not had any true stinkers yet. Like,
I think that's
Godzilla was
your
our lowest
lowest-
rated one, but.
Yeah, but even then, what did we give that? Even then, what was that? We still gave Godzilla like a 7 or something, did we not?
I think it was around. I think the highest was a 7. I think we were somewhere around a 6 average. But
Hang on a minute. Hold up. You rated Godzilla from 1998 higher than fucking
Godzilla
Bad
is
Times
a
at the El
better
Royale.
movie than this movie, Sean.
Is it? Fuck.
It is a better movie.
No, it's not.
What movie?
Just fell off.
Chaos. Chaos.
What movie did we enjoy better? What one did we have more of a laugh with? Every time that French man was on screen, we were howling.
That's true. Did I mention
We
that
had
French?
we had a good time at the Godzilla Royale.
For fuck's sake. It's pointless.
What was it? See, the last thing we watched. What was the last thing we watched? And they had a Godzilla figure in it. What was that?
Marriage
Oh,
Story?
God.
Marriage. Yeah, Marriage Story. They had a
wee boy had a fucking-
the wee boy had like a Godzilla figure from that 1988 Godzilla film. Did you see that?
I think I missed it, but yeah, okay. Oh wait, no, I do remember now. Actually, yeah,
It was like hilarious. It was like, what? Why is he got Godzilla?
Oh, we were all fucking screaming.
Yes,
That
no,
might be
I'm
the
sitting
most
at
divisive opinion.
I'm sitting at 7.5. Yeah, this is probably our most divided one so far, but even then, we're not that far apart.
Nah.
7.5.
I can't wait to find a...
I really, really like this movie. I think there's a lot of really smart ideas. It's a ton of fun. Some great performances in it. And I actually really like the overall story. I think it just loses its way in the second half a little bit and starts to fall apart to some extent.
That's fair.
While like I like the actual end point, I think it struggles to get there, unfortunately, and I think that is my big problem. But overall, I really, really like this movie. I would recommend this movie if you're looking for a good,
tell you
fun
what.
Tarantino-esque time.
That lassie is going to get cast in all the singing parts after this movie.
Probably.
This movie is just like an audition reel for like her singing. Like.
I know. Yeah, she was in a TV show, The Outsider. Stephen King adaptation recently. She was very, very good.
Well, she's great. Her acting's great in it as well. To be fair.
I don't think she sang in that, but yeah. Yeah, no, she's definitely going to get those parts if she hasn't already. So there you go. Our most divided movie yet, and even then, we're all within 3 points of each other. So, like,
My
pretty
next
much.
pick.
So
My next pick is going to be one that I'm going to find a movie that you both fucking despise.
So to sum up this movie, go watch 1998 Godzilla because it's got a high rating.
No, it's not as good.
It's basically the same length as well.
If you want to spend 2.5 hours, go watch the Zilla 1998. That's the way it's spent.
Oh God! If you want to listen to our
can't
Godzilla
wait.
discussion, you can do it. So just go back through your podcast feed and it'll be there. But yeah,
Nice.
right. That was good. That was good fun. So if you
Boy.
let us know your thoughts on Bad Times at the El Royale, you can do that. You can get in contact with us at our email address, which is saltrivermovieclub@gmail.com. It's so hard to remember all these. Our Facebook, which is Salt River Pictures, or our Instagram, which is Salt River Pictures Official. We don't have a Twitter because Twitter fucking sucks and fuck you. So, so you can get us on one of them.
Oh, no.
Yeah. I think certain podcasting services as well, like you can comment. Like I think Podbean, you can leave comments. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure. But yeah, awesome. You can also listen on our YouTube channel, in which case you can just comment down below, which is Salt River Pictures as well. So let us know what you thought of this film. So next episode,
Here we go.
The next movie.
We and Sean
club.
don't know this. Sean,
It is
Jake's pick.
my turn. It is my turn.
What we
And
got, Jake?
Next time we will be watching Drive.
Drive?
That was a very disappointing reaction. Okay.
I don't. What is this movie? I'm gonna look it up. I'm gonna look it
Have
up.
you heard of this film?
No.
Jesus
Sean are
Christ.
both on. You're both on IMDb right now. Go. What?
Oh my god! I can just explain what it is. It's filmed by Nicholas Winding Refn.
Ryan Gosling.
Ryan Gosling is the main character.
Ron Perlman's in it.
Who?
Ron Perlman? Do you not know who Ron Perlman is?
I know. I didn't hear the name you said. Yeah, it's got Ryan Gosling, Bryan Cranston, Ron Perlman, Carey Mulligan, Oscar Isaac. It's a great cast. Yeah. Hellboy himself is in it. That is true. It is available on Amazon Prime. We're going to be watching that. It is one of my favorite films, so I'm looking forward to seeing it. Yeah, it is an extremely big deal movie amongst movie fans. So I'm quite surprised you literally have not heard of this film, especially because I've talked about it before. But
To be honest, I've not watched a lot of Ryan Gosling films. Like I like him in the Blade Runner, second Blade Runner.
He's great in that. Yeah.
I've not seen a lot of his movies, to be fair.
Fair enough. This is the film.
I think I watched like 5 minutes of La La Land and was like, hey.
Fucking La La Land needs to get in the bin.
It was, I don't know. It's not my kind of film.
I'm good. I would like to see La La Land at some point because it's the same guy who made Whiplash for stars, which is an incredible film. But
Land needs to get in the bin. No.
But no, yes, Drive, we will be watching that. It is a great film. There's clips of it in our latest music video. Still, yes, I'll point them out to you after this. It's a great film.
A mysterious Hollywood stuntman and mechanic moonlights as a getaway driver and finds himself in trouble when he helps out his neighbour.
Yes, that's the film. It is.
That's the film. Go, they bother. Seen it.
It's an interesting film. It looks like it's going to be like a full-on action movie. It's kind of not. It has moments of that, but it's actually more of a drama. I guess it's more about this kind of relationship between two people. And it's fucking brilliant. And I'm very excited about watching it again. And I'm excited to know that it's this film that is completely fresh to you too. So that is good.
It's kind of nice.
So you have 2 weeks if you're listening to this on the day this episode comes out. You go away. Listen to what am I trying to say? Watch the movie Drive. It's on Amazon Prime. It's very, very good. Be prepared. It's quite violent, but if you're okay with that kind of thing, yes.
If you're not old enough to watch a violent movie, why are you listening to us?
It wasn't so much the age; it was more the disposition. But so yes, that is your homework. Go away, watch Drive, and let us know what you thought of Bad Times at the El Royale. But that will do us for now. I think probably by now the Falcon Winter Soldier episodes may have started. I will need to check that. But
I thought we were doing Mandalorian first. Oh well.
Well, I mean, Falcon Winter Soldier is coming out in 2 weeks, so we kind of need to start that.
We'll do that. We'll do Mando as well. We
will get Mando out. Mando might come out slower, but we will be doing it, and we will be recording it.
I just want to fucking watch it.
We will watch it. We will watch it. Yes, and So you can contact us at the places I mentioned earlier: our email, Facebook, or Instagram. Yes, thank you for listening to this one. Thank you to Alec for our theme tune, our banging theme tune at the start.
Thanks, Alec.
Thank you. You can rate us on whatever podcast service you use. Most of them have some kind of rating system. Apple Podcasts is the one I know, but whichever one you use, give us 5 stars. Give us a little review. It takes 2 minutes out of your day, and it helps us more.
Make it funny, and we'll read it out live.
Yes,
we will genuinely do it. Like if you have a suggestion of a film or just a review of a shit film you saw or just any funny movie based thing or even not movie based thing, just send it to us. We'll read anything. Like it doesn't fucking matter. We'll
send us the script to the B movie. We'll read that too.
Yeah.
Unvetted, we will just pick up an email and go, I got this today.
Yeah, you don't even need to email us. You could like suggest a movie on your Apple review. Do you know what I mean? Just we'll find it.
Just anything at all.
Roast us, fuck
we will
it.
read
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, indeed.
Just absolutely destroy us. Do something. Just interact
roast
with
us. We'll read it out. Roast us on in a review.
We'll roast you back. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have no qualms about telling you you're a piece of shit. Yes, so you can do all that. The thing, as I said, subscribe on whatever service you use. We are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, I think, Podbean, and YouTube. And
Whatever you want.
Yeah, whatever you want. I don't have a movie quote to end this one. I'm just gonna bring back my good pal. I'm gonna bring back my good pal Jeff Bridges.
Oh no!
Just
Don't end it on the 123 kills.
Jeff Bridges, 123 kills. Jeff Bridges.
What's going on, Jeff Bridges?
It's Obadiah Stane.
What's going on with you?
Tony Stark.
Built this in a cave
with a box of scraps.
Yes.
I don't sound that bad.
We love you, Jeff Bridges. Okay, goodbye. Go away.
Fuck off.
Hello there.
I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
Stay on target.
This podcast is brought to you by Salt River Pictures.